We meet again. Oh, you're on mute this time. It's not my fault yet.
Yes, yes.
I can hear
So
you.
I know Drummond's going to show up because you have him on the docket. So I figured I'd listen to what he had to say. Um, so I don't know what you're going to do regarding chairs for this committee, this working group, whether,
Yeah, I know. I would like to invite other people to become a co-chair. Of course, we always have that open. Um,
yeah, you need to have that discussed because this is the first meeting of the year.
you know who we want? I want Mackie. He shows up everywhere.
Yeah, and he does, and he doesn't take on. Well, he is actually leading a task force for C2PA.
Good.
I think it's the AI task force, to be honest with
So we're discussing here while people are collecting about chairs for ecosystem and governance working group. So
Bring in the reinforcements.
yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, I like contributing and helping out. If I weren't a co-chair, then I would have a bit more time to, for example, develop educational content
Mhm,
for
mhm,
Linux Foundation, which I think has significant value.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, but I like, I mean, I don't want to see this working group die because I think there's a lot of value in it, and what I do right now is I fill out the form in order to get the advertising for the speakers. So I do the form and I do the
Wiki page, and then well, Stephen
no,
does that one,
Steve
right?
Steve does a wiki page and I make the picture, and I'm usually the one that is like, oh my God, we have to send out an email, and then I send out an email,
Yeah, yeah.
which is all very uh regimented. If you don't know, I came back from Switzerland quite sick, and I today is the first day I'm not like totally exhausted.
Uh,
So,
well,
but I need a break.
glad you're feeling better.
Yeah,
You're the
yeah,
third person I know that caught basically a flu or something, traveling over the holidays. It's just that's what happens, unfortunately.
yeah. And I made a mistake. I packed two packages of kids' masks instead of a package of adult masks and kid masks. So
Oh,
that tanked me.
Mm.
yeah. Ouch.
Okay.
I just have a housekeeping question before we start. So,
Mhm.
um, what's his name? Keith Janza is going to present on the 22nd,
Yep.
and he asked for a meeting invitation, and I don't even know how to do that. So I checked the calendar. I don't think it's even on the calendar yet. So, I'd like to be able to give him a link, but preferably give him like a social media link, like a LinkedIn announcing his presentation that he could share with other people
Mhm.
and
Okay.
that he
So
could register.
here on the Google Drive, there isn't a thing for registering. Can somebody email Linux Foundation, especially support at Linux Foundation? I think there's a special email, and I can go and look for that, and we can
Yeah.
ask them about that. The OneDrive, the link in the Google Drive there, that is what I always post. And it does have the Zoom link, which brings you to the whatever that page is, you know, uh
On
I,
the
I
on
I
the
don't know.
calendar?
Yeah, I think it brings you to the calendar page, and then because you can't join until 10 minutes before. And I think that's what that Zoom link is. So that is what I copied there is from the Google Drive, and that's the advertisement for Keith.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that right now with the picture on Discord.
So I'll put just so everyone has it. Any
Thank you.
request to do something with the Trust Review calendar, and I think any of us can send requests in. You
Mhm.
just they've standardized. We just send it to that that email,
Okay.
and just I put always TOIP calendar request in the subject line, and then just say, can you do, make the following change, or add something, delete something, whatever. That's all there is to it.
So I understand that link for support does to add something to the calendar.
Yep. Yep. You can use it to add something, move a meeting, delete a meeting, whatever. And it doesn't have to come from a, steering committee member. I mean, frequently we do email them, but any of us can use that to just, request something.
Okay.
And is there a way that we could send somebody an invitation, like for the speaker? It'd be nice to send like a calendar invitation, not that he has to go click on the link and then register himself.
We
Yeah,
can't do that.
you can.
We can. I've never known how to do that,
Oh,
and I
right.
don't have any permissions for that. I would
Yeah.
ask support how to.
Yeah, you could. That's a great question, since I've never had to do that, but I do see the value of being able to do it. You could literally ask them, if you do that, actually copy me on that. Copy me that email, because I'd be interested in their response to say, and if we find out, oh, here's how to do it, we might even want to put that on the wiki. Say, here's how that, so it's documented. We can tell other
Okay,
people.
so I will I'll email support. Well, to see that it's on the calendar and how to send an invite to
Yeah, that's perfect.
to anyone, not necessarily the speaker, but because I don't know if outside people they have to register for the event. Does that make them give them speaker, or they're not, no, they don't have any?
No, there's no
you still have to be the
special
host.
role. They're just coming to the Zoom meeting, and then they're going to present.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
they don't need a special
so
role.
how do we send a calendar invite to somebody?
So, I mean, I always go to this, I mean, the LFX meetings page. And if you click on the meeting, I don't know how it is for somebody who's not trust over IP, but if you click on that, the meeting, like for example, meetings today, and you'll see a little register button, and that link might be the one that you send.
Are you on the public calendar or the?
Yeah.
You're on the
Well, that's a
public?
good point. The public. Let me try this right now. I've never thought about that. So, if I, for instance, wanted to. You could send a link, or we could try. That's interesting. So I'm going to try. I'm going to go to the.
If you go to the 22nd, when the day that it's supposed to be, and you click on that meeting link, and then the blue register button sends you to a page, and just maybe copy that link, but I'm not sure.
I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to Eric.
Mm-hmm.
I have Eric at fourthco.io.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to send Eric right now. Oops. Eric at fourthco.io. Invitation. Just to give it a real shot. Okay.
Just to note, there's a phone call happening in the background, but then that gets recorded and uploaded to
Yeah, I think that's Lynn.
Lynn. Yes. I think you have an ongoing recording, and it'll show up on the public YouTube post. So maybe you want to mute Lynn.
Thanks. So Eric, I just sent you an email with one of those links.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for it.
To see if that then would.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So I click on it, and it takes me to this link and it says, well, so it says welcome Eric Drury since I'm a member.
Yeah, you're logged in already.
But then it allows me to request for
But you're logged in already. Maybe do it from an incognito or a private tab, so
Ah,
it
Yeah,
doesn't
that's a
even.
good point. All of us would be logged in.
let me see, incognito window. Let's see if this works. No. How do you force it to open? Well, I know I can do it. Copy it. Okay, so if I go to incognito, it says, yeah, just please enter your name and email address and then request. And I think that request, I don't know if that's an automatically approved request that sends you the calendar invite, but that will send you the invite for all of those meetings, I think,
Oh,
It's
really?
true.
rather than just that single
That's
instance.
rude.
But I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think you're right. I think that's a good point.
So yeah, usually we used to just send Michelle an email and ask her to do that.
But so Carly posted in LinkedIn, which is great. I can share that with Keith.
Yeah.
And if he clicks the meeting link, though, this is not going to register him in the calendar or anything. Meeting link that's
Yeah, it just
posted.
allows him to join the meeting. Exactly. That's not going to get it into his calendar. So,
Yeah.
You can create a count, just a,
yeah, I mean, maybe just forward forward the invite that's in your calendar. Actually, that's what I think. Yeah, so if you go to forward and then forward this event rather than all events in the series, and just forward it to him and see if that works.
Oh, yeah. So from my.
Yeah, that's what I think I used to do it.
So I add him as a guest to my calendar invite. I don't know if that's going to work like when he shows up, if he has to be registered.
But he doesn't have to be registered. He just has to join the meeting. But I think if you forward him your calendar invite and he accepts it, then it'll show up in his calendar.
Okay. I'll
I
do
think.
both.
I mean, you can try it and see if it.
Yeah,
See
I'm
if
gonna invite him to join my meeting event on my
Yeah.
calendar, and I'm gonna send him the Carly's post so he could share. And if he has to add it to his own calendar, I'm sure he knows how to do that. Okay. The other, well, also once we're on housekeeping, I did try to go edit and add a blog to the Trust Over IP website, but something has changed. It used to use this thing called WP Bakery or something like that, and it's not installed anymore. So it's impossible to edit a past page or create a new one
shoot,
without in that format.
okay, we had a meeting with Ben about updating the web page of Trust Over IP to simplify it, and we've been going through what we need to do about it, and I don't know anything about what's currently being done. We'd have to have a conversation with Ben, and I don't know what to do. I mean, I know that we do need to simplify and streamline the web page to make it more easy to update, and we're in the process of that. Do you want me to
Well, it's
email
gone
Ben
reverse.
and ask
We
him?
have regression.
Yeah, yeah. When you're in the middle of something. Do you want to, so you were trying to add,
I was trying to add a blog post, right? So
yeah.
the plugin for which is a licensed product, WP Bakery.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm
I
going to
guess
write an
it's
email
not
to
paying the
Ben.
license and they removed it.
Um, okay. So I'm going to write an
Wasn't there
email to
a
Ben.
committee or something or a group that was going to revamp the website?
Yeah. And we did have a meeting,
Right.
and it's in the fog of war. I've lost track of where that went. But I do remember there was a meeting and Drummond was there. And
As a witness. You're the
yeah.
oracle.
And I didn't know what was being it all sounded very promising. And I'm going to email Ben and I'm CCing you, Stephen, and I'm going to ask about the progress of the web page update and that you are having trouble adding blog posts.
I mean, it's
Well,
not
yeah,
urgent.
but we do have this, a larger question of, you know, the site what are we calling that? Revamp, redo, reconstruction.
Uh, I'm
It's
going to
been,
CC you, Drummond.
what's that?
I'm going to CC you.
Okay.
But you talk about like changing WordPress or changing the whole
Yeah.
site. It's not a light. This is not a light task building a new website.
Well,
You know, it's not like adding a page.
no,
No,
understood. Go ahead, Carly.
the problem was it was getting quite difficult to keep it updated with other content. Like the blog was working out okay, but trying to add pages and then trying to add it to the menu and stuff, we I couldn't I couldn't update it, and I was the person that was doing the updating. So I said, let's simplify the web page, take it to like a bare bones is kind of WordPress thing that doesn't have all kinds of plugins and fancy shit. And then at least it can be updated with the stuff that we need
Mm.
rather than looking cute.
Yeah, but
Right.
no offense, Carly. That's like a big job to refactor the website.
Yeah.
It's not like take out all the plugins. You're going to end up with a black and white,
No,
page.
I
So
agree. I don't know why the plugins are
they
removed.
must have, maybe Linux has like a template that all the other projects use, but I doubt it. And if that's the case, I don't know. They must know it. They must have a solution to every different project's website, or they just offered their help with this one. I remember, was it David Luchik? What was his name again?
Yeah.
Well, that was way back. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So he once asked me for help with it, and it was unbelievable how hard it was to update the website. So
Well,
with the WP Bakery, it's easier if you know how to use it. I just happen to know how to use that plugin, but without it, it's not possible to update the website.
Yeah. I like a generic WordPress is also just really easy and it doesn't have to look fantastic.
so the idea, Stephen, to make it clear is we wanted to just say, okay, look, we're now part of LFDT. It's gotten even harder to maintain our website. Let's just scrap it and get LFDT to do the work to help us set up a new one. Because they have a guy, Ben, who's supposed to do that. And we want it to be simplified, and that's consistent with the other thing we want, which is we need to update our documentation, right? And so I've
it's a big undertaking, though, right?
No, we know, but it's just like if we're going to, continue to be viable as an organization, we have to, we put all this work in the symposium to bring everything current. And
no, I just wanted, from my experience, set expectation levels. It's not like, oh yeah, we could do this on, Friday afternoon, we'll have it out Monday morning. So it's a bigger job. The other thing too, I'd like to point out is that when we do the blog posts, I don't know if Linux Foundation does the blog post too. I think they do, but from a traffic point of view or search engine optimization point of view, it'd be nice if people were coming to trustoverip.org and not ending up in this huge, potpourri of Linux Foundation. It's just, we get lost in there. There's just so much going on their website.
Mm-hmm.
So I do agree. It'd be nice to have a nice light WordPress site with some basic stuff and not worry about, any bells and whistles. We're not anything that's heavy lifting. We could always just send over to Linux website, but news, blog posts, like basic stuff.
Yeah. And every time that we get a working group, I mean, when we change working groups and stuff, it was I would spend hours. I don't have hours to spend adding a freaking paragraph to a page.
Yeah,
I can't figure out the damn web page. Okay, so I have something.
Sorry, Carly, why would you add a paragraph to the WordPress site? What use case?
When a new working group comes up. We have a list of working groups on the webpage.
Oh,
And
you know what? I would just put a
get rid of
link.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, get rid
yeah,
of it.
and
We
send it.
don't, you have to do
Exactly.
like, do it
That's
once, right? We have
exactly.
that link exists on the wiki page
That's
on
right.
Confluence.
Yep.
All you need is a link on the page saying working groups and let them go to the wiki. Which, by the way,
Absolutely.
I
Which
do vote going to GitHub, but instead of Confluence. I know we fought to have Confluence, but that's another subject. But I'm saying we
yeah.
can't be duplicating
Oh,
content. It's too much.
absolutely. And that was a key point of discussion about this to how we can minimize the amount of information on the webpage rather than duplicating it. And if I could only ever find the notes, then I would know what we talked about in December.
But it shouldn't. You weren't able to add a menu link, or you wanted to add a content to the page listing the working groups.
I had a hard time. Bakery. I was getting so convoluted in bakery, and then also I still haven't figured out how to add anything to the menu. And anyway, it's a freaking mess. It's so we're in the process of doing it, and I didn't think that they would remove.
I
Sorry.
just assumed it was a licensing issue. Maybe it expired and it.
Maybe
But
they,
even
yeah,
if it's
maybe they
expired,
started
you can
working
still
early.
use it.
Well, so we've
It's
emailed
work.
Ben, and we'll find out from Ben. And you're on
Right.
that email. Um, Drummond, did you want to then introduce the topic of what you're doing?
Well, no,
Sure.
it's yeah, talking about tackling the new introduction to trustworthy P document. I'm just answering a very timely signal message. Give me just 1 second. I can share my screen. Uh, and oh, setting up. All right, let's just I promised someone I would make an introduction, which I just did. So yeah, one of the things that we oh, and Carla's just joining us.
Sorry, I just got the invite.
Very good. Okay. We just reached the point where we were just talking, Carla, about updating the Trust RP website, because we're tired of trying to struggle with the old version. We want the new LFDT easy to maintain version. And then we just reached the point where I had volunteered to say, the steering committee has been talking about, as you recall, updating our documentation, right? Our basic documentation. Besides the website, also our introduction to Trust RP document. Plus, we have this whole set of, I don't know if Scott sent the email yet, but we have now the checklist for anything, any proposed. I don't know, Scott, do you want to quickly brief Carla on that?
Yeah. So yeah, I sent it out to the steering committee just before this meeting. We discussed a kind of format of a review committee report that gets set up to review the spec to get through the steering committee. And so we'd spin up, an ad hoc review committee. We have now a report template and we have a checklist template, which is now out for review prior to our next steering committee meeting. So it should be in your boxes.
Yeah, I just got that one too. They both were needed to be released from our security. So
Yeah,
yeah,
typically I
so it
would
is
be
here.
careful
Thank
about
you.
anything from me, that's
Yeah,
all.
exactly.
Okay. So so then one of the key pieces of okay, oh, I know I was going to make the point. We had a technology stack working group meeting on Tuesday, and looking across our various task forces and then across the other working groups, we realized we have this wave of specifications coming out. I mean, the leading one in the wave that's already on the queue at the steering committee level is the carry suite. 3 specs, but there are 4 more following, in that the long-awaited technology architecture spec, which has just been, waiting on some sort of technical or some small tweaks in formatting and glossary work. So that's pretty much ready to go. But then the other 3 coming after that, we got the trust spanning protocol, we got the trustworthy query protocol, which is just a week away from finishing its a second public review. And then the did skid spec, folks are starting to say, why not get that all the way through? So suddenly we've got this whole what our conclusion was, wow, in Q1, by the end of Q1, we could really, work these things through the process and have a whole, significant suite of things that certainly indicates a much more mature organization. And, we just, hey, we're 5.5 years old. So besides the new website, we said, and Carly and I went to look at it, and the existing Trust over IP introduction to Trust over HD documents is way out of date. So what I have not, I thought over the holiday period I'd be able to make some progress on a draft. It turned out I needed it was a higher priority to make some serious progress on some things we need in the decentralized trust graph working group. But I have been, let's see, is it, I think it's this window. Yeah, I got the right one. So I have a basic outline, which it's not very complex. In fact, almost the whole thing can fit on one screen here. You can see it here. It's not complex. I think we actually need a simpler and shorter introduction document than the original one did a lot of education on, sort of, hey, this is why we need digital trust, and this is why the paradigm needs to shift. We're much further down the road now. And so this proposed outline, I think I get almost the whole thing on the screen here, is just saying, brief introduction, core thing about the reasons we had to say, why do we need this model? Why do we need this structure? We have our original rationale, but since then, we've had a lot of progress on digital wallets, digital credentials, things we can point to in the market that, sort of show, wow, this is really needed. We've also got, content authenticity wasn't even mentioned in any of our original documents. And of course, there was no Gen AI was not a thing at that point. So we've got new, really compelling, whoa, these are the reasons, that we're doing this. The biggest single thing and I discussed this with John Phillips, who I think everyone knows really help lead the effort to create our 3rd generation Trust over IP model with the whole slide deck progression that helps introduce it. I'm proposing that we just, since I've used that multiple times to explain, this is why we arrived at this basic model. This is what all our working groups and task forces are working on. That's the best, explanation we have now. Once we do that, it's very simple. We conclude with just anyone who's saying, okay, I need to understand this. We just need to, communicate the same basics we had at the end of the first one. Here's how we're structured in working groups and task forces. This is how you engage, and call to action. It's that simple. Go ahead.
Wait, so
Eric.
this is an update of the foundational introduction to Trust over IP?
Of our original and still the one I hand out the PDF for. I'll stick this in. I gotta get.
Oh, I've got it. Okay.
Yeah, just making sure that everyone knows. If you want to look at the current one, that's the link directly to the PDF.
Right. I guess the only thing there is that one's not so prominent. I mean, it's the first because the first thing that we published it, but I mean, in terms of accessing it, it's not. People don't really sort of fall on that paper, right?
No, you're right. So, I mean, if we're talking about importance of updating our communications to the outside world, I'd say number one is let's get the website updated.
Yeah.
One thing that, for any kind of a organization that, is like a Trust RP or emerging standards org, there's some kind of introduction doc. I hand this out fairly regularly when someone
Yeah.
says, "Hey, tell me about Trust RP," but I don't just want to send a link to the website, right?
Right.
I want to go the next step deeper. That's what I'm proposing this
Yeah.
document is for. I'm anticipating the need for it because we've got an awful lot of people with what I'm focused on now with First Person Project that I need to educate about trusted IP, and I want to be able to send, hey,
Yeah.
just look at this PDF. Actually, I would love it if I can send it the website. I think the website needs to
Yeah.
include the same material.
Right.
And
this is,
go ahead.
and you're thinking how many pages is this?
It's considerably shorter. I think our original, the other one is like
30.
26 pages, something like that. I think it's half that size. It's ideally it's like 10 pages.
Right. Okay.
And again, if there's a executive summary, one page, maybe page and a half. The main stuff is a very visual walkthrough of just, this is understanding why we're, came together in this organization around this model. And then this is like one more page and one page and you're done.
Okay.
So it's fairly short. Again, I will turn around and make the contention. We need the same info. Besides a link to this, we probably need literally like a page on the new website that covers. I would actually we do have the Trust RP model on our current site. I think it's one of the things I do send people to. If you just want them to quickly understand what is it we're doing. Anyway, this is just, I will share one more. When I ran this by John Phillips and Joe Spencer from CESU, attended the APAC version of the Technology Stack Working Group call. And I mentioned to them that this is because John's led the work on that model, and he, of course, because they're deep into it now, said, "Oh, want to do a new version? We should really leverage AI we should give it a whole bunch of pointed at a whole bunch of our stuff, and see how it recommends." I think it was either they were using Gemini, someone else suggested Claude. We all know that the models can do this stuff. And they were like, well, I can generate the page and a video and a podcast and all of that. I'm like, yeah, so I wanted to I said I would share that input at this meeting about all this and see what everyone else thinks about that. I know that Stephen probably poo-poos that idea because AI really is, way overrated, right?
Let it do the whole WordPress site.
There was a thought coming out of that is sort of the next level thing, which is, should we actually have an agent, right? Should we be offering up, Stephen's a rosy interface to, is that what a modern organization like ours doesn't just have a website? We have an agent, right? And you can start asking questions and all of that. And I want to officially sort of put that on the table as part of what we should be discussing. Because if we think that's a good idea, it's something I think we would kick upstairs, not just to Ben, but to Daniela and say, hey, we should be dog fooding here. And, you should look at enough budget for us to do that, to support it.
Like if you look at any of the technical sites, right, most of them now have some kind of, plugin or AI interface where you can just go in and type whatever you want. I don't know. Personally, I used to go to a website and go to the search bar. And now if I see the word AI anywhere, I click that. Like I don't have time or desire, not necessarily time, but the desire or patience to go through a website to find what I'm looking for. If I could just ask, what does TLP mean? What is the third generation model proving? What problem are you trying to solve, right? Like the reasons why people go to a website, they have a bunch of questions. So if there is some kind of embedded AI chatbot, whatever, I think that to me is a mandatory feature now. At least because I'm a techie and I go to techie sites. If they don't have an AI, service, it's too much of friction to deal with the website. No matter how good the website is, there's too much.
I'm
I'm
not
rosy.
disputing that. No,
I'm
I
saying
understand.
any site that has documentation, logged in or not, anonymous users, you don't be logged in to get premium data. That's a premium content. I'm saying just from a customer facing point of view, and
Yeah,
Linux has that capability somewhere.
I'm agreeing, and I think you can sort of double down on that for a site like TrustRP because, and this is just a hypothesis, but I think the majority of people that will come to the TrustRP site are looking for something. They're not just, oh, I'm interested in, this general topic. They're coming to find out the answer to the question like, hey, I've heard Glyph is doing work at TrustRP. What is Glyph doing? All right. What are the things related to Glyph? Or what is First Person Project doing at TrustRP? What
Right.
is the what does TrustRP have to do with the content authenticity initiative or COG, right? They want to go
Right.
straight there and they don't want to have to figure out how to navigate it. And of course, yeah, I mean,
imagine if somebody did say, like I think you've had great success with the decentralized trust graph group.
Yeah,
Like you
working
have
group,
like
yeah.
over 20 people showing up, and most of them aren't trust over IP people, right? They're coming from diff. They're coming from, they heard you speak somewhere. So if they were to go to the trust over IP website, even if it had a search capability, which I don't think it does, even if it had it, right? And they would say, all I remember is Drummond, trust over IP,
Yeah.
decentralized trust graph. That's all I know. And if they manage to hit a link that goes to the Confluence site, oh, forget it. They're gone. I mean, it's impossible to find anything in it, whether it was on GitHub or not. I'm not dissing Confluence. I'm saying it's a lot of effort asking someone. There's so much friction to get what they want. If you can just go to a prompt and say exactly that, what the hell is FPP and TOIP mean? That's what they're coming for. So
Exactly.
So
Well,
we need to have a virtual Drummond. We need it when
Yes.
you come to the homepage, his face pops up and say, "What do you want to know?" And he'll provide you all the answers right there.
You could be the techie guy.
I'm voting for the virtual Scott. It's more authoritative.
No, 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 no.
No, but we'll use Scott when they have a governance question.
So,
But
Exactly.
I would be
I'll
for going
confuse
through
them.
that exercise because I mean, to be able to put something on the website that represents that is trustworthy and then has all the backing that says we've done our due diligence we're not just putting things out there that are, like we said, eating our own dog food. What is that procurement process or decision process of, what are the options out there and does it have to be Linux, based or somebody's doing this within the LFDT? Can we go outside? So I'd be all for going through that process of figuring out, which solution would work.
Right, especially if we're talking about redoing the website. I don't know why we're talking about all this in ecosystems and governance. It sounds more like a steering committee discussion. But anyway, to make life easier for us, because most of us are volunteers, don't get paid to sit here. If we were to use an agent or an AI chat as the home page, that's my proposal. And therefore, our documents could be in Confluence. They could be in GitHub. They could be on any other website we want, right? It doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about the interface anymore. You don't have to worry about a menu system anymore. You don't have to worry about, which page do I update the blog on? You could just, point it to any links you want and let it soak it up. So even if you're using GitHub pages in the back end for all the documentation and everything else, you don't have to worry about the front end website. No one's going to see it unless they click the link to go to the source.
Well, I wouldn't go that radical. I mean, I think because that is quite radical saying do away with the website. I think we need to integrate that capability into the website.
I grant you can have a landing page.
Yeah, I think I do need that.
But that's
Yeah.
it. And then you never have to worry about themes and WP Bakery, because all you're doing is the front end is going to be whatever the chat is, and that's it. And then if you
Interesting.
want to get smart, you could always add a paywall for premium content or something. I don't know. But we don't charge for content.
Interesting. It is, again, what you're saying, Stephen, is pretty, it's the next step beyond where John Phillips was, which was, hey, let's use AI to generate a bunch of this. I actually think we probably need some of both. We need
Yeah.
updated content describing what we're doing, but this idea of making it available, having, call it the primary interface, be a chatbot on a landing page, I have to say it's very attractive. And it could simplify the job of what we'd have to do.
Right. Because we're not in
Um,
the WordPress business.
yeah. And then we could literally say, hey, blog posts, whatever the simplest way is to, I mean, literally it could just have a WordPress blog, right? And that's a trustworthy WordPress blog, and then it can be as simple and easy to update, and we don't have to bother, and get LFDT staff all
Right.
over that,
You'd also be able to
right?
load Google Docs, right? I know there's this transition period we have, right, where it's a working collaborative effort. We use a Google Doc, and at some point, which doesn't happen very often, we take the Google Doc, we put it into GitHub as a spec or something. But
Yeah,
the length of time that actually happens is eons. So if you were able to point, to load the latest version of whatever the Google Doc is, you don't care anymore about the UI, like the interface, right? They're going to ask a question. The answer is going to be coming from that Google Doc that was just worked on today, right? And they'll get the answer. And if they click the link, they'll go to the Google Doc, but they probably won't click the sources link, right?
yeah.
They just,
Many times they don't, and that
and then you could
we're
add
yeah.
in transcripts, chat, meetings, because there's stuff that goes on in the meetings is golden, and it never gets documented anywhere, because who's going to download the transcripts or watch the video? So
Yep.
if you ask a question and it was in the transcript of the video, that's again a lot better
Yeah,
than any WordPress site's going to be.
that's a good point. Maki, go ahead.
Yeah, apologies. I joined a bit late. I had another commitment, but I think like it's really interesting to see how things are evolving quite rapidly these days. So my point was regarding the leveraging the social media instead of the website. I think outreach activities, for example, through LinkedIn and other like well-known platforms could help bring people more towards the website and the YouTube. Um, so I think, like maybe also looking into the LinkedIn, for example, as one of those platforms that can help us elevate and reach more audiences.
Okay, I mean, I'm thinking, Carly Eric, the current leadership of ecosystem and governance, Stephen's right. This is as much a steering committee topic as it is ecosystem governance. Ecosystem governance tends to be has handled a lot of our outward facing, the speaking and communications, and we don't have a separate communications committee now, so that's why I think things we're landing here. But it sounds like the action item here is we need to put in a request to have a chat with Daniela and whoever else she thinks should be there, and just say, hey, we don't just want a new website. We want the best thing that's actually going to work. And, we want to talk about having, bootstrapping with the same technologies we're trying to develop, trust tools for.
Yeah.
I think that
Well, I
would
mean
be a
that
great idea because Daniela herself, she's always active as well on, LinkedIn. So I think, maybe adding those efforts to the LFDT will be great.
I mean I think that we'll probably end up with a transition website. I think we can't go immediately. That is the trend, as I understand it, that websites will be dynamically generated based on what the person interacting with the website is looking for. So I understand that trend. I don't think we're ready for that, and, and there's going to be a huge gap in between getting there and where we are now. And so I do think we maybe just try for a slimmed down version of at least the homepage, still having access to everything there, but working towards this new version that is AI enabled, generated chatbot. Because the other thing is, I'm not sure people are ready to go to a website and do work. And typing what you're looking for is kind of work. I think people want to go there, get a sense of, what this organization represents, what's their message. They want to have they want to have some sense of, the professionalism. Is it serious? All that kind of stuff. And rather than just arriving and saying, all right, now you do the work. Tell me what you're looking for. And
Yeah, but there's
so,
no reason why you can't have both, right?
yeah, I think we need
I mean, if you think about the layouts of these single page websites, right? There's a
yes,
nice
on
little
the
menu on
screen.
top, and all it's
Yeah,
doing is scrolling to the bottom or the
yeah,
middle, right? That's all you really want. Drummond's document he showed could be the web page,
yeah,
but that doesn't mean you don't have the option to chat, get more information,
exactly. Yeah, 100%.
right? So you would
Yeah.
always have, and I would not say have ChatGPT or anything generate the website for you
No,
without reviewing it, but it can definitely do those mundane, boring pages so that you have a presence and some search engine optimization. So when people search, but my suspicion is if we know the customer, my bet would be 80% of the people coming to the site are coming because they've seen people from Trust Over IP at events, at IAW. It's a
mhm,
destination site. It's not people searching like, how am I going to solve the problem with trust on the internet? These people who are
yeah,
sitting there like pontificating that question won't come to the site. It's going to be referrals. So you want the site to kind of back up. Oh, Drummond was talking about this. Oh yeah, I know, I get it. It's confirmed. It's a
mhm.
destination site. It's not, search engine optimization is not going to bring us any new members. I don't think. It's word of mouth.
Well, yeah. Harley's bite-sized trust gets shows up pretty quickly in some of my searches.
Yeah, which is also
Yeah.
good. I mean, that's the other thing. I think uh a key takeaway is I would be very surprised if it doesn't, literally this year, almost any search capability in a website start going to, call it BA enabled. It's going to be okay. You're going to start, those are going to start turning into, chatbots around that. And so, yeah, of what Maki just put in there. So
Yeah.
boiling this down to what are next steps,
Okay.
it sounds like we need, uh, maybe we figure out how to expand. We did pretty much assign, well, I think Carly and I took the assignment. Okay, let's look at the updated introduction trust IP and what are we going to do about the new website? Do we want to just establish a small, essentially a ad hoc committee to reach out to Daniela and get this conversation started about that? If so, I am volunteering to continue to work on that. Who
Yeah.
else wants to be part of that?
I'm in if we use the word AI.
Okay, well, we're going to use the word AI.
Yeah, I'm in.
Use the word AI or use AI?
Honestly, what you're talking about would be of interest to the entire Linux Foundation about restructuring how they do things. I mean, we Trust over IP could be the experimental use case for something that,
Canary in the coal mine.
yeah, that Linux Foundation can investigate for if they have the interest, if they have the appetite for it. I mean, it's work and money. And do people even visit web pages or do they just ask ChatGPT, which filters everything through it for them?
But okay, so there's a couple of steps. There's saying, let's just start this transition to a slimmer website in the vein of LFDT in that template. I mean, we don't want to lose our brand, our color code, or all that kind of stuff. I think the further we get into LDT, we're absorbed by that color code. And so, how do we get into their world?
Okay, so I agree. Number one is the streamlined web page without duplication. Number two is, as that's being built, consider the content to be AI accessible so that it can be fed into future iterations, chatbots and stuff like that. I think that both can happen at the same time. One can be a discussion, an ideation, and the first thing would just be to build the simple web page.
Okay, so yeah, I think we lay out the vision for Daniela, but also say if we want to do a quick transition using your tools for your websites, what I don't even know what that is. What are they using for their website?
I think it's WordPress as well.
WordPress?
I think it's
I can't
WordPress.
figure it's WordPress.
So Stephen Ben wrote back to say that bakery is still up, so he doesn't know what the problem is. So anyway, but now there's an email chain started about that,
All right.
and
I'll reply to him.
and then that sounds like there's a group for the webpage. I'm not going to join that group because I'm working on education stuff and I can only do so many things. But
So, Carly, do you want to be? I'm literally have composed the email
Yeah.
CC list. Do you want to be CC'd or not
Shit.
on the email to Daniela? You don't.
My problem is I like cool things, but no, I'm not going to be CC'd so that I can focus instead on the course.
If that's your New Year's resolution to say no, just hope you break it.
That's a good idea there, Eric. Thank you.
Got it. Okay. I'm just gonna zip off this email to Daniela and get this conversation started, and I'll just try and summarize what we discussed here so that we can open that dialogue with her.
Excellent. Thank you.
There we have it. Okay.
Yeah. So in 2 weeks, it's going to be Keith Jensa speaking.
Yeah, the 22nd. Yeah.
Okay.
I invited him. I sent him the LinkedIn. I reposted the LinkedIn from Carly. So we're good.
Okay.
So the other thing, I suggested before everyone joined is we need to get co-chairs for this. I can't put the time in to be a co-chair for this working group. So I suggest, where's Mackie? There you go. He's lurking. He needs to elevate because I know that you're involved with C2PA, but here's an opportunity for you, Mackie. Is it Mackie? How do you spell? How do you want to be? How does it sound? Your name?
Yeah,
please?
Mackie, yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, because someone said Mackie, or I think Drummond said it, and I said, "Man, have I been pronouncing it wrong? I don't know, or is he pronouncing it wrong?"
Yeah, Mackie, yeah, that's right. You did pronounce it well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let me think about it, and perhaps before the next session, I'll have decided on this. But I will need to have some, like at least download of the key activities and what's planned ahead, and
I started a list of that on the Discord of what it takes to be a co-chair.
And there's a document that we use to help with admin.
Yeah, the document is really helpful. It's got all the links, so you don't have to. It takes the mental load off quite nicely. You just tick your way through.
Yeah, sure. I'll go through this and I'll let you know. So it's bi-weekly, like the same cadence, right?
Yeah.
But
if you want to, Mackie, if you want to have a call
bi-weekly.
What's that?
Sorry, in between bi-weekly is we usually get together So it's weekly. Every 2 weeks is public, and every other 2 weeks is we get together, talk about stuff like this.
Planning and yeah, admin. But those usually last half an hour.
Right.
Mhm.
Short.
And Scott, in terms of the transition, like when are you looking to move on? Is there a specific plan?
It's done. I'm attending here as a participant. I need to shed some stuff because there's other demands on my time.
Yeah, I think then in that case, so let me plan for the next meeting. So maybe I'll need to have a chat also with Eric and Carly to see, where we can head next. At least some milestones that we can work towards, and then we can start. I can start co-chairing with the team.
Yeah, and then so Mackie, that's great. And yeah, I'll be available. I guess Carly will be as well if you want to, and Stephen to talk more about that. I think there's if you go on the Linux, let's see if that shows up on that calendar, you should see the what's it called? Ecosystem Governance, EG Working Group chair meeting. Are we on that calendar? And those are on, I think, Mondays, but I'll look for that calendar invite to send you as well, so you can see if it matches your calendar.
Yeah, sure. You have my email. I think we've been in touch as well, so
Yep.
can get in touch. Yeah.
Okay.
There you have it.
All right.
Welcome, Maki. That would be super. And thank you. Thanks to everyone. This is going to be a productive set of steps forward.
Thank you.
Brings into the new year.
Thanks a
Starting
lot.
See
strong.
you at AI in 2 minutes.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
See
right.
you.
Just long enough for a bathroom break here.
There you
All
go.
right.
Appreciate it. You bet.
See you
Bye
guys.
all.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Carla. Happy New Year.
Bye-bye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.